This is quite disturbing news coming out of Melbourne. The Demons will confirm a little bit later on.
This is just breaking. Jesse Hogan, we've just had confirmation from the Melbourne Footy Club, has been diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Initially, obviously, it was a big shock to him, and Thursday was a really rough day, but by the end of Thursday, he was in a positive headspace. He's feeling really good. I spent some time with him yesterday, and his usual sense of humour, making a few jokes. But yeah, he's pretty positive.
All we can do as a club at the moment is offer support and help him and his family through this. And we're confident from what we've seen already that he's going to bounce back out of this. He's a very resilient character, and with the support of the club, he's going to get back and play some footy this year.
As mates do, we'll get around him and support him through the range of emotions that he might face. There's been some real perspective and maturity shown on his behalf, and I expect him to recover and handle that as well as he has this week, and he'll be back bigger and better than ever, I think.
It's 12 months today that I found out, so it brings back memories and emotions, I guess, of what happened in the past 12 months, and then you hear of someone who's been through a fair bit in the past, month, and then to go through this, you don't wish that upon anyone, and all thoughts throughout the footy community, but here at Hawthorn, wish him all the best.
I have reached out to him, and no doubt I'll have a chat to him at some stage. I guess when I was in a similar situation, I felt it was nice to talk to someone who'd been through it, so I'll certainly be there for Jesse if and when he would like to talk.
That was the best of football to have Jared Ruffhead and Sam Rowe present publicly today to offer their support and thoughts and insights, and quite raw insights at that.
Jesse Hogan punched him in the face 3 weeks ago, and he comes out today and says, I'll be here, I'll talk to him. That's fantastic from Sam Rowe.
And Jordan Lewis, we're faced with this conversation again. Welcome.
Thanks, boys. Well, it shows that football is more than a game, doesn't it? I mean, whatever happens on the field, if someone is going through a hard time, that Sam can put that aside, and then he's been through it before, so he understands what Jesse has in front of him to offer that support.
So just walk us through what happened behind closed doors at Melbourne and how the reality was conveyed.
Yeah, so we arrived at the airport to fly out on Friday, and it was funny because there was bottles of water in a room that we never really use, and there was murmurs around that we had a new sponsor, so everyone thought that we'd be going in there and they'd be telling everyone about our new jumper sponsor. So we get in there, and then the news is that Jesse has found out that he's got testicular cancer. That is why he hadn't trained on the Thursday, and that's why he won't be travelling with the team to Adelaide. And he'll require surgery on Tuesday, so he'll be out of action for a fair bit of time. But Jesse was in a good headspace, so that sort of gave the players a little bit of reassurance that that he was in a good headspace, and we could sort of deal with it when we got back.
So I've been told that Melbourne really took away the unknown a little bit. They gave all the players all the facts. Hey, hopefully you're going to get back in 6 to 8 weeks. It's been discovered early, so there wasn't complete doom and gloom. I'm not trying to paint it as a walk in the park, but you were given enough information to think he's in good hands here and he's in a good space.
Yeah, and I think that's important. When you've got 44 guys on the list, you really you care for the bloke, and then the doctor would have 44 guys coming to him saying, is he okay, is he going to be all right? So for them to be up front and tell us exactly what was happening, and sometimes it's hard because you don't know the outcome, but I think in this case it was diagnosed early and it hadn't spread. So so he required surgery, and then I think that was just the healing time is now 4 to 6 weeks.
What contact have players had with him in this period of time?
Yeah, I think so. All the players would have sent Jesse a text message just to say thinking of you, and he's been through a rough couple of weeks, with the passing of his father, and now this. But yeah, had surgery today, and I think he may have flown home to Perth today or either tomorrow, just to mentally get over what has just happened.
Did younger players? I mean, they're only young players. They're only people. They wouldn't know anything about testicular cancer. Nothing. I don't know if you knew anything about it, but because you've been through it with Ruffy, did some younger players, or did you talk to the younger players if they had questions about it or anything like that?
No, we haven't really had time. Like we were over in Adelaide, played played the game. Our focus was on the game because the doctors did reassure us that Jesse was going to be okay after surgery today. But people deal with it differently. There was certainly it was certainly mentioned going into the game that, you know, one of our own is hurting back home. So if you are going through a tough time tonight, dig deep.
Who mentions that?
I think Vines mentioned it before the game. Yeah,
on the ground
in his pre-game speech. Yeah.
Do you think?
Well, we'll show a little bit. We'll show a little bit of vision, and you tell us whether you think people lived that and the words that were shared.
Well done.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, when Vines mentioned it just before you're about to run out into your position, you take what you're doing for granted sometimes, and it certainly put things into perspective straight away. Just to go out there and enjoy it, you know, play hard. We've got one of our own at home who is sick. He would love to be out here, so take the opportunity. You're very lucky to be out here playing.
Is your hope and expectation that he will rejoin the fold in that medium term, and that he might even return to footy this year?
Yeah, I think it's probably Jesse's expectation and hope as well. I think from what we've been told, in the context of cancer, if you were to get cancer, this would be the one that you would want, so to speak, because it's easily curable, and I think that has been the case. But as I said when I was on here with Ruffy, football clubs are amazing places, and that's where you want to be when you're going through such a hard time like this.
It was sad news when we first learned, but it's not as sad now because of the upbeat diagnosis from experts, and yourself has got more information, and people are still wishing good luck. I mean, the amount of people, and Jesse, my understanding, and tell me about Jesse, Jesse's not a person who welcomes warmth and love. He'll never express it back. He's the kind of guy who says, oh, that's nice, but, you know, I'll just sit back here. Is that the sort of character he is?
Yeah, he deals with things internally, and that, I suppose, has been his problem when he first came to Melbourne, that they're there to help him. So you can see when he's having a bad day, but he just didn't want to talk about it. And it was a sign of maturity in a way, because he had some pain in that region. So for him to go to the doctor, there is that little bit of vulnerability, because you are a little bit embarrassed, you know, I've got something wrong down there. But for him to go to the doctor and then they diagnose it, you know, pretty much straight away, I thought it was a really brave thing, because as a male, you want to, you know, be strong and tough and just hope the pain goes away. But in this case, thank God he didn't.
Very true.
Well, he carries all of our best wishes as he enters his recuperative period, and thank you for sharing that with us. We'll talk pure footy with you.
Is he staying for real or overreaction?
No, we'll let him
that would be really nice. Yeah.
All right, let's you go back to the lasagna, and we'll see you in a few minutes.
Well done.
The rest, the pure footy, it's not all pure footy, but it is burning in the furnace.